nothing with any certainty, but the sight of the stars make me dream.
Welcome to the Extreme Bastards Wrestling Podcast here on YouTube.com.
Which is the most extreme podcast in professional wrestling today.
That is right. Here we go with your Saturday weekly news. Me, Metal Mike, will not be joining us this Saturday due to the fact that he is at a Penn State Nittany Lions game. But he is
Have a good time, Mike,
by the way. Chat room right now as we speak.
Yes, good to see you in here, Mike. But yes, it is, once again, we are back with the news, and let's get things started, shall we? Fun fact, just after, this was just, the first topic we had was just after the first one we did last week, when me, Metal Mike, was with us. This happened literally hours after we finished. CM Punk fired from AEW. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, that literally happened hours or so, like within an hour or so after we finished our show. If I'm going to be, I think, correct, if I pull up everything when it comes to CM Punk being fired or something, I'm going to pull up an article or something like that.
Literally happened. Yeah, literally happened 5 minutes after we went off the air, too.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it says here, here's a statement from All Elite Wrestling and Tony Khan. All Elite Wrestling has terminated the wrestler and employment agreements between Phillip Brooks, formerly also known as CM Punk, and AEW with cause effective immediately. The termination was confirmed today by Tony Khan, CEO, General Manager, and Head of Creative of AEW. The termination follows a week-long internal investigation of an incident occurring backstage at AEW All in London on Sunday, August 27th. Following the investigation, the AEW Discipline Committee met and later convened with outside legal counsel before making a unanimous recommendation to Khan that CM Punk be terminated with cause. Khan offered the following statement. Phil played an important role within AEW, and I thank him for his contributions. The termination of his AEW contracts with cause is ultimately my decision and mine alone. Of course, I wish I didn't have to share this news, which may come as a disappointment to many of our fans. Nevertheless, I am making the decision in the best interest of the many amazing people who make AEW possible every week. Our talent, staff, venue operators, and many others whose efforts are unsung but essential to bringing our fans great shows on television and at arenas and stadiums throughout the world. Yeah. That is the official statement regarding the matter.
I mean, I guess Phillip Brooks kind of had this coming because the one thing you shouldn't do is threaten your damn boss.
Yeah, but shortly, I think, shortly after that, the collision, after everything We will get to that meme metal, Mike, with the Tommy Dreamer situation. That's later, near the end of the show, but we will get to that shortly. But yeah, following all of that, Tony Khan made the announcement on Collision, and everybody eventually just tuned out or left because they were just like they booed, and then a lot of people eventually left the place in Collision because it was in Chicago, mind you, and everyone in
Right.
Chicago did not like that at all.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, Collision got its lowest rating last week, too.
Yeah, last week, yeah.
Yeah, it
And
got
then
a
they were
pretty
all
bad
let all
rating.
out, and
But then again, wasn't pay? Yeah, but then again, they were kind of going up against WWE Payback too.
yeah, Payback was there, and that's what we'll get to that. But obviously, what your thoughts on the whole Punk situation, and then there's also the thought of a possible WWE return because there is no compete. Because as far as I'm aware, AEW doesn't have a no compete clause. They're not like WWE. So, thoughts on a possible
Well,
CM Punk return to WWE?
that's a really good question. I honestly don't see WWE bringing him back due to how much of a problem Phillip Brooks is in the locker room. Well, how much of a problem he is as far as backstage goes.
Yeah, but
I mean,
here's
I
the
guess
thing.
I guess anything's possible. I mean, WWE did bring back the Ultimate Warrior. They did get Bruno Sammartino to come back for the
Bret
Hall
Hart,
of Fame.
Bret Hart, obviously, multiple times,
Yeah,
won in 06
that's
for the Hall of Fame, and in
yep.
2010, obviously, for a match with Vince McMahon. But
Yep,
but
yep.
the other big thing
And
about this whole
I guess
possibility of
anything's
him,
possible.
yeah, considering the fact Survivor Series is in Chicago.
I
Think
see
of
that.
That's a possibility of like, is he gonna be there? There might be a chance. If anything, there's a possibility he might buy a ticket, possibly.
Then there's rumors going around. Apparently, Phillip Brooks wanted to get fired from AEW. I don't know what to believe.
That was the whole thing. He wanted to come back for the Royal Rumble this year, and that he would want to have a program or have a match with Kevin Owens at Mania 39 this year. But all of that was essentially nixed because I think KO was having a match with Roman Reigns that night of the Rumble, and he wasn't in the Rumble match. Cody Rhodes was, and certain others.
I guess we'll just have to see what goes on, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think the next things we got is the Payback results. If I can go and look at the results for that, because I don't think there was that many. There was quite a few matches that were happening that night, but we'll go through them here. We'll go through some of the matches. We start off with, I think John Cena was the host. Seth Rollins retained the World Heavyweight Championship. I believe we had new tag team champions in Damian Priest and Finn Balor. This makes Finn Balor a Grand Slam champion. Raquel retained. Becky Lynch won. Ray retained. LA Knight won. And in the Grayson Waller effect with Cody Rhodes, main event Jey Uso returned to WWE, and he's a part of the Raw roster now. But thoughts?
I didn't think he really quit.
We got, who is this? Games are US. I'm not familiar with who you are. You must be somewhere from, I don't know where, but welcome to have you. You can chat in the stream, but I don't think we're going to allow you in here. This is just between me and Ben. So, but Greg, glad to have you here.
Yep. Welcome to the stream.
Yeah. But yeah, thoughts on
But
Payback.
anyways, yes. Payback, yes. Well, at least LA Knight won. That's all I
Yeah,
gotta
pretty
say.
much. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And he just signed a contract extension too.
Yeah.
WWE.
Yeah, that is true. But what that's to be seen when it comes to this. But yeah, yeah, but yeah, I'm happy with some of those results. I wish Shinsuke had won, but he could have completed the Grand Slam. But I'm thinking if they were to have let certain people to get Grand Slam, I think they were going to let Finn win first. Yeah, but now we get to, I guess, the main card for AEW All Out. First off, we have a new international champion, that being Jon Moxley. Chris Statlander retained, Luchasaurus retained, MJF and Adam Cole retained, Bryan Danielson beat Ricky Starks, Samoa Joe retained, Konosuke Takeshita beat Kenny Omega. I think I could be wrong. Bullet Club Gold, I think, might have won. I'm pretty much right. Bullet Club Gold. Miro won, which after the match, I think they shook hands, but then I think Powerhouse Hobbs attacked him after, which led to CJ Perry, formerly known as Lana, coming back into the business and appear in AEW for the first time. I can't remember who won between Eddie Kingston and Katsuyori Shibata. I think that was the two of the from the Blackpool Combat Club, but I think they won. The Acclaimed and Daddy Ass, I believe, retained their AEW Trios titles. And then the over budget charity battle royal, it was won by Hangman Adam Page. So, thoughts on All Out, Ben?
Well, I mean, I guess it looked like an okay show. I mean, I guess it's cool to see Lana in AEW. Don't really have too much to say about it. I mean,
yeah, pretty much. All right, well, shortly after all this, we got some other news before we get into some highlights. Christian Cage, who is proclaims to be the TNT champion when he's not. He is just the TNT champion is Luchasaurus. But Christian Cage resigns with AEW. I think it said he would have had a multi-year extension, I believe. Yeah, it says Christian Cage confirmed he has signed a new big fat contract with AEW. And then after that, I think, Sonic, and then, but yeah, thoughts on that?
Man, still had some curiosities about if maybe Edge is coming to AEW eventually.
Yeah, possibly.
Could happen.
It's possible, but it could happen, yeah.
His contract expires soon.
Yep. But then we have the next one. It says Sonny Kiss has left AEW after his contract expired. I don't know when his contract expired, but he is. Sonny Kiss is gone. Thoughts?
I honestly don't have much memory of Sonny Kiss. I know he was on Collision. Or not Collision, he was on
AEW early on.
Yeah, what was the AEW show on YouTube?
Dark?
Oh, I can't think of the name.
I think it's
can't
Dark.
think of the name of it now.
It's Dark. It's AEW Dark. I don't know if they still do that. They probably got rid of that.
I know Sonny Kiss was on there for a bit.
Yeah, that's probably where Sonny Kiss was at for a while. Yeah. And then we got another one that I think follows the whole thing with the situation of Punk. Kind of, well, pretty much. Jack Perry suspended indefinitely from All Elite Wrestling. For how long, we do not know. But that's why it says indefinitely. So however long it'll be. But
yeah, that's kind of could be 3 months, could be a year. Nobody knows.
yeah, exactly. And then the final newsworthy thing to close this off before we get into some of the highlights. AEW nixing the brand split thing, and it's just that Collision and Dynamite will share the same roster now. Thoughts on that?
I mean, I guess it's okay because I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on it because I kind of like rosters being maybe a little separated. But then again, it would be kind of cool to see others appear on different shows, kind of like what Raw and SmackDown does, I guess, or did at one time. So, and anyways, we apologize if we're having technical difficulties over here.
Yeah, he's having technical difficulties. I don't know if I am, but I think I'm doing all. I think my end is all good and stuff. But yeah. Alrighty, now we get to some highlights. We start the first three are from Raw. Obviously we had a the first thing I wrote down is Gunther Chad Gable IC title match on Raw in the main event. They probably had a stellar match, which was end up winning by. We'll get to this on the Friday show. It was won by Gunther. When we get to the SmackDown stuff, I will basically mention it. But basically, yeah, Gunther. We all know at this point. And we get obviously main event Jey Uso. He came out, I think, cut a promo and stuff like that. Sami Zayn came out, cut a promo or something like that, and they eventually hugged it out, basically. And then Judgment Day was all over the place. Obviously, they were celebrating winning all the gold and stuff like that. JD McDonough came out and gave Damian Priest a new contract, a new custom Money in the Bank briefcase, which is Senior Money in the Bank, which was all purple and stuff, kind of with Judgment Day colors and stuff like that. But then they wanted to see if he belonged in Judgment Day. And he, I believe, had a match. I could be wrong. He had a match with Sami later that night, which JD McDonough won. They saw, with the Seth thing, the whole thing with Seth Rollins and all that. But then there was a segment where it was Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. Damian had the briefcase and the contract, and Rhea just said, "Not tonight." Let's just celebrate, and all that stuff. But that is all the Raw highlights. Thoughts, Ben?
Can't really give an opinion on that because I did not get to check out the result for what happened on Raw.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it's cool to see Jey Uso on Raw. I mean, that's kind of good, I guess.
Yep. It's cool. Yeah, I think for me, it's cool that Jay and Sami reunite, hug it out, and all that stuff. The main event was great between Chad Gable and Gunther, and then the whole stuff involving Judgment Day was good. I think it was a good show overall. There were other things that I can't remember from Raw, but those were kind of the highlights. Next up, we got the SmackDown, or no, not the SmackDown, NXT stuff, and the top segment happens to be Braun Breaker destroys Von Wagner, and what I mean by that is it was after the match. Braun Breaker won the match, by the way. It was, I think it was a no DQ match, but it was after the match. Braun Breaker continued to attack and obliterate Von Wagner and put him on, like, the big bottom part of a steel steps. Like the big steps you walk on. He then took the top parts of that steel steps and he just drove it into his head and probably caving his skull in. And it was just like, holy shit. And immediately before that happened, they cut to black with that.
Wow.
And it was later a show reveal of, they stretchered out Von Wagner. He had rag or something covered. He had some blood, obviously. But yeah, it was horrific.
Pretty brutal.
In that, before that, we also have now a match next week for the NXT Women's title between the champion Tiffany Stratton, who successfully retained against somebody, I forgot her name, and she is she is defending it against Becky Lynch, who has yet to win the NXT Women's title. I do remember she's challenged for it before, but has never won it. And then the final one was a match between Mustafa Ali and Dragon Lee, and also Dirty Dom was the referee, but special guest referee, and he did pretty much a fast count and gave Ali the win. Pretty much. Yeah, and then Ali attacked him and said he did not want that kind of a match. He wanted to be a more respectful match, and that, it all that, yeah. But thoughts on all those for NXT, Ben?
Well, the breaker stuff sounds pretty brutal. Yeah, NXT, man, it's kind of weird, man. I always forget about NXT for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Braun Breaker. I've heard of Braun Breaker before, and I've heard some pretty
Bronson.
good stuff.
That's Bronson Steiner. He is the other, or Rick Steiner's son.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little more paying attention to NXT.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, now we come to some of the AEW stuff. We had a world title eliminator, which is basically a tournament to crown a number one contender for the AEW world title. The matches, I think, were won by, there was 2 matches that were won by Roderick Strong and Darby Allin. They will face each other tonight on Collision, where they will go to the finals, where more than likely we'll get into that one here with the Rampage stuff, but they moving on to the semifinals tonight. I think they have one of their matches tonight. They have 2 semifinal matchups for that are tonight, and one of them is, we'll get to the other one, is Roderick Strong versus Darby Allin. The next one is an MGF Samoa Joe segment, which gets flashbacks to NXT and all that stuff when Joe shoved MJF back then when he was a kid, but then they recreated that and they had to cut a promo, and I think probably MJF, then I think they just had a good long promo before, attacking each other and stuff like that. And then finally there was a segment between, I wanted to highlight this one, Hangman Adam Page and the Mogul Embassy, more specifically Swerve Strickland. He cut quite a vicious promo of stating if he had the same kind of money as Hangman Page, he should be back. Ben should be back here soon. That if he had the same kind of money, that he would be the first ever black AEW World Champion. And then this led to Brian Cage attacking Hangman Adam Page. But Ben should hopefully be back here soon. We got should hopefully be back here soon. But yes, we got. Then we get to kind of on the other side. We get to some SmackDown stuff. Stuff involving, and I mentioned with the Gunter match earlier. One of those, we get to the Jimmy Uso, who had a match with AJ Styles from the OC, and that eventually after that match, there is Ben. Welcome back, Ben.
Apologies for that, people. Hopefully we can get this technical difficulty stuff squared away here.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, your thoughts on all the stuff I mentioned. I don't know if you mentioned. I mentioned AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament, where those who won on Dynamite are Roderick Strong and Darby Allin. I mentioned the MGF Samoa Joe segment, and then I mentioned the Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland segment where Brian Cage attacked Hangman. Thoughts on that, Ben?
Okay. Well, I definitely think the right decision was made with Darby Allen and Roderick Straw winning. So that should definitely be interesting tonight on Collision between those two.
They're facing each other tonight. And then
So
we'll get
yeah,
to the
that's gonna
other
be
semifinal, and then we'll get to the other semifinal match that's also happening tonight.
yep. So that should be really good, I think. I mean, I think Darby Allen deserves it. As far as the Samoa Joe MJF segment, great stuff. Great promo back and forth between the two. You know,
Yep.
can't really go wrong with MJF. He's very good on the mic. A lot of
Yeah.
charisma. You know, he definitely has a bright future ahead of him. And what was the other one you mentioned?
Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. A part of the promo where Swerve Strickland said, "If I had the same contract as you, Hangman, I would be the first all black AEW World Champion by now."
Well,
And it was later, and then Brian Cage came out and then attacked Hangman Adam Page after Swerve provoked Hangman.
yeah. I mean, that looks like it could definitely build into something interesting. You know. Yeah, I think all in all, Dynamite seemed like a pretty decent show this week.
Yep. All right, and then this all happened yesterday. All these final ones are from Friday. We get to kind of a mixed bag segment where it involves Jimmy Uso and the members of the Bloodline, the OC, more specifically AJ Styles, the Judgment Day, and LA Knight. LA Knight was briefly involved with one of the members of the Bloodline, particularly Paul Heyman, who he said he admired LA Knight's work and all that stuff. Judgment Day came out and attacked AJ Styles, who was then finished off by, I think, Solo Sikoa. AJ Styles, like I said, had a match with Jimmy, which he won. And then Jimmy Uso, and all the stuff revolving trying to get back in the Bloodline. And, well, during the match, Samoa Joe turned his back on his brother Jimmy. And then I mentioned the Gunther Chad Gable match. Gunther won that, now becoming the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, passing the Honky Tonk Man. And the day keep growing at this point. And then the final one that I thought was pretty interesting, and this is set for 2 weeks' time. There was a tag match. I believe it was between Bayley. It was between Bayley and Io versus Charlotte and Shotzi. And during the match, or nearing the end of the match, Asuka appeared. And, distracted them, took the title away from Dakota, who is still not medically cleared, who probably won't be cleared until sometime in 2024. But this all leads in 2 weeks' time, Asuka versus Io for the WWE Women's title. So, thoughts on this?
That sounds pretty damn interesting to me.
And mind you, Asuka looks like her Kana gimmick before she joined WWE. Short hair, the face paint, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's
it
awesome.
Sounds pretty interesting. It also sounds like eventually they're going to build to a AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns match. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I kind of want to mention, I didn't put his name down in here, but it was kind of like a backstage segment he posted on Instagram where he was actually watching the AJ Styles versus Jimmy Uso match. Killer Cross. And it was all in black and white, and he was watching, and he had a smile on his face, and it was just like, so kind of poetic, because he predicted the fall of the Bloodline pretty much.
Yeah.
Wanted to mention that.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it seems like SmackDown has a lot more interesting stuff compared to Raw. When it comes to the two shows.
Yeah, it's not even close. All right, now then we get to some results from, I think also we had, Victory Road happen yesterday as well.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about that.
I have to look at the matches about that, but I had I'm trying to look and see if this is all the matches we had on the show. Looks like it is. But I'm gonna pull it up. But there's several key matchups I picked. I think Josh Alexander beat Steve Macklin. Yeah, this is one of those I'll mention. I'll mention the ones I did not mention. Rascals retain against the Motor City Machine Gun D. I think Deonna Purrazzo won. Leo Rush retained. I think PCO might have won. That's another match I'll probably not mention. I think MK Ultra retained, and I think Crazy Steve beat Black Taurus. But one of the matchups was Tommy Dreamer versus Kenny King for the digital media title, and if Tommy Dreamer did not win, he would be forced. His in-ring career would be done. In which, spoiler alert, Tommy Dreamer won, and his career is continuing pretty much. Then we had another match. I think Trinity fought Alicia Edwards, which she retained. You know, Trinity, the formerly known as Naomi. And then another one. I wanted to add this one. I think it was a pre-show match for Victory Road. And it was this idea, and they just posted on there, and I'm like, oh my god! It was another guy, and then it was Guido, formerly known as Nunzio in WWE, had a match in the pre-show for Victory Road.
Nunzio, holy Christ.
And he looked pretty damn good. I'm like, holy shit, it's Nunzio! I haven't seen him in forever.
I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, but that's all I have for TNA Victory or Impact Wrestling Victory Road 2023. But that's all of those. Thoughts on all of that?
Well, at least Tommy Dreamer won. Kind of happy about that.
Yeah.
I thought for sure maybe the Motor City Machine Guns would have won the tag team titles, but I guess they didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed like this show was pretty decent. I mean, yeah.
All right, and then we get to the final highlights, which are from Rampage. One of those is a World Title Eliminator tournament. The other semifinals were Samoa Joe defeats Jeff Hardy, and I think Penta defeats Jay Lethal, and they're facing each other tonight. That's the other semifinal match that's happening tonight. Samoa Joe versus Penta. Winner faces the winner of Roderick Strong and Darby Allin, which I think to myself, it's going to be Joe versus Strong. Which I think we all know at this point, it's Samoa Joe versus MJF for the title at Grand Slam. There's no denying at this point. And then the other match we are getting at Grand Slam, Chris Jericho versus Sammy Guevara.
Oh, yeah, I did hear about that.
Yep, they're going to have a match. They're going to blow off all this steam. They're going to punch each other in the face. And then they're going to get all this steam, all this pent-up anger and frustration out on each other, and then they're going to probably hug and, get back on track to winning the AEW tag team titles. But this is going to be interesting, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty interesting on paper. I mean, it should be pretty good, I think. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the results for Collision. I mean, after tonight.
I think I'm looking at that. What is the matchups they have tonight for, I think, Collision tonight? What matchups do we have? We have the Grand Slam World Title Eliminator Tournament semifinals, which is Joe versus Penta and Strong versus Darby. Darby winner. The winners of these matches faces each other at next week's Dynamite to see who will become the number one contender. Then we also have we have a Chris Statlander TBS Championship Open Challenge. Then we have the Open Challenge for the International title between Jon Moxley and Action Andretti. And then we'll hear from Saraya Ruby Soho. We'll hear from Bryan Danielson, the Acclaimed, and Billy Gunn. And then we had a cool 8-man tag. It's Bullet Club Gold versus, I think somebody mentioned that they were like Power Rangers. It's a bunch of luchadors that are called, we got Dios del Inframundo, Aerostar, the one formerly known as Grand Metalik in WWE. He's just simply Metalik. And then we have Gravity, and they're facing the Bullet Club Gold. That's all of those for Collision tonight.
interesting. I mean, it should be a good show, I think. I mean,
yeah, that's gonna be. I wouldn't be surprised if that 8-man tag is gonna be opening the show. That'll be a barn burner of a match. Considering it's Luchadors
right.
and it's Bullet Club Gold. There's gonna be. I think I see a comment on here. It's like, see, someone said here, no wait, because Go-Go Power Rangers versus Bullet Club Gold might go crazy.
Interesting.
But
So
that
I guess
is, I
my question
believe.
is, no, I was just thinking of something here. So with CM Punk being gone from Collision, well, from AEW, period, I wonder who's going to be the new face of AEW, or the new face of AEW, the new face of Collision now. I saw Bryan Danielson came back.
Yep.
I mean,
We were doing that. It's like, yeah. But then again, he's with Blackpool Combat
I'm thinking
Club,
it's probably going to be him. Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
I'm thinking it could be either him or once Edge's contract does run out with WWE, it could be Edge. If he decides to go to AEW, I mean, it could be anybody, really.
Yeah, that's possible, yeah.
Of course, I mean, if Edge does go to AEW, obviously he won't be able to use the Edge name no more.
Yeah,
since Vince McMahon owns the rights to the name.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I'm kind of interested to see what happens there. But yeah, hopefully tonight's Collision's good. Hopefully they can get their ratings back up tonight. A little bit at least.
Hopefully, but they're in somewhere else, so it's.
Then the other day I was searching for Facebook. Now this happened 35 years ago, and I never knew this happened until I saw the picture of it on Facebook. And I guess it happened on February 13th at a house show. I guess on a house show, and it was never acknowledged by WWF back in the day. I guess Hulk Hogan beat the Honky Tonk Man for the Intercontinental title at a house show way back in 1988. I never knew this until I saw it on Facebook the other day. I mean, obviously, he probably dropped it back to him.
Oh, who passed, Mike?
Wait, somebody died also? Oh, General Adnan. Yeah, he was back when they were doing that Iraqi sympathizer storyline with Sergeant Slaughter. He was Sergeant Slaughter's manager.
Oh yeah, General Adnan. Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That guy. Yeah. Oh, Ben's gone again. Yeah, but yeah. Rest in peace to General Adnan. I guess I'll take this time. We'll have the book your CM Punk WWE Return feud storyline. Ben, that is interesting. If I were to say who he could have a feud with for a match, probably be a Mania. Kevin Owens, probably. I honestly don't know. He would just be there for a short period of time and then be gone after Mania 40. But yeah, Ben should be back again. No, not Punk versus Miz. That would just be like, not really. But I guess we could maybe Punk versus LA Knight. Nope. I could see Punk versus Seth. Yeah, that might be a good one. I think Punk versus Owens might be good too. I think that is about all the highlights for this week for wrestling. Hopefully Ben will be back here shortly.
Anyway, all right, I'm back. Anyways, apologies again, people, for the technical difficulties.
But all that might be fixed by the time you do the other stream tonight.
Yes. See, I'm going to try to clean out my laptop here in a bit, and hopefully that helped.
Yeah. But I think we won't be doing...
But yeah, man.
I think we can say that, I think to close this out, there won't be a new show next week because we're going to be reviewing this album.
That's right. Over on the Metal Bastards Hangout podcast channel, we will be reviewing The Underground Resistance by Dark Throne.
Came out sometime in February, so it's celebrating 10 years. It's already celebrated its 10-year anniversary, but we decided, Ben may be 7 or months late after mine, but we're definitely going to be talking about stuff. But yeah, next week, no news show.
Right. So, yeah, we will be back in 2 weeks for the next update, and by then we'll definitely probably have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it'll definitely be pretty long. But I think also that same week, I believe it'll be... Yeah, that's right, Mean Metal Mike. Next week is also, that Sunday, AC/DC Deep Dive Part 2 with me and Mean Metal Mike. The Brian Johnson years. From Back in Black all the way to Power Up, which I'm so glad I was able to finish those before it. So, yeah.
It's going to be cool.
Happy about that one.
So, yeah, anybody out there in the chat room, go check out Damage Incorporated's channel. Go check out Mean Metal Mike's channel. Check out the Metal Bastards Hangout podcast, and check out my YouTube channel, Metal Ben's Chronicles. Yeah. Check us all out, man. I should probably start linking all the social media. You know what? I'll do that later on. I'll start putting all the social media links over in the About section of the page on YouTube.
I think we'll talk about that later tonight. This isn't for that, Mike. This is the wrestling show. Remember, this is about wrestling, which you did mention about the whole thing with General Adnan. We want to send our condolences to the family of the General Adnan, who passed away before this week. So rest in peace, General Adnan. He's best known as General Adnan, who he's teamed with, Sergeant Slaughter when he turned his back on America and sided with the Iran forces, which also included Sheiky, baby.
Oh yeah, Sheiky.
But he was under a different. Yeah, he was that. Yeah, but yeah, we will definitely be talking.
Oh my God, man! I remember that when I was younger too. I'm like, that's the Iron. Come on, Vince, you can't. Even then, I knew. I'm like, that's the Iron Sheik. Come on, Vince, you can't fool me with this.
Yeah, we all know that's the Iron Sheik. That's Sheiky baby, man.
Yes, good old Sheiky baby, #1 Sheiky baby.
Yeah, but I think that's about it. Yep. Yeah, rest in peace to him. He also. Yeah, I think I got nothing else that we can talk about, so.
Nope.
I guess that's
just a shorter episode this week.
Yeah, the only thing big about this is the number of topics we talked about today. We had more topics to talk about today than we did last week at the very least. But definitely next week, or in 2 weeks' time, we will have a lot more than this week. We had about 25, 26 stuff to talk about. It'll be bigger than that next week.
Yeah, next week's probably going to be like a 2-hour show. Or in 2 weeks,
possibly.
I should say.
Oh, yeah, Me Metal Mike will be there, too. So it'll be pretty damn long, so.
Yeah, hopefully by then, everything's internet-wise is better.
Yep, definitely.
All right, guys. That was it for this episode of Extreme News for your Saturday. So keep it real and keep on supporting professional wrestling.
Yes! See you in 2 weeks.
Be extreme.
Yeah!